Hello guys, Arkan here. I just want to take some time to tell you guys that we have a Patreon set up for the channel. It's an additional way you can support us. So I will put the link in the YouTube cards and in the description. Thanks for checking it out and I hope you enjoyed the video. Hello guys, Arkand here. I am the darkness in the light, the flower on the wall, and the resplendent nightfall. Here we are checking out the Lotan update. So in the past video, the past episode, what I remember was that Corey was being invited for a cup of joe for some coffee, and he's gonna meet up with the Wolverine guy that he chatted with on a dating app. So let's check out the story. Chapter 2, Promenade. I relocate the last of the pancakes and bacon from the cookie tray to some Tupperware and toss them in the fridge. My tail? It's kind of freaking out behind me, shaking to an imaginary beat. It's 9:30, plenty of time to get ready. I'm incredibly giddy. Stefan is really rather attractive. After thinking about it more, the rest of me starts to freak out too. I scamper up the stairs, taking them two at a time so I can brush my teeth. The old toothbrush will have to do. I lean in, mouth opening wide as I inspect for any hidden bits of bacon between the grooves of my teeth. Clean. I slide across the polished wood floor and unzip my DOP kit, snagging toothbrush and toothpaste, along with the citrus and sandalwood talc powder I use to stay fresh. Back to the sink, toiletries deposited on the counter, I squeeze some paste onto my slowly dying toothbrush and get to work. Partway through brushing, though, I begin to grin, making it hard to reach my back molars. I flick the faucet on and spit, dip my toothbrush into the stream of water, bring it to mouth, then give a quick rinse. Toothbrush and paste are nudged to the back of the sink. I'm staying so it doesn't make sense to pack it up again. Looking at my reflection makes me smile again. Hands find a bottle of talc and I twist it open. I tug at the hem of my shirt, pulling it forward before dipping the bottle under and giving it a gentle squeeze. The smell of sandalwood is most apparent, but if you're a fan of Earl Grey, it's not that hard to pick out the bergamot. I pinch my shirt at mid-chest and give it a few tugs, helping distribute the talc a little more and making sure any funk is covered up. There's one last glance in the mirror. Blue eyes meet blue eyes and I coyly wink. Oh, so handsome. My feet lead me back into my bedroom just long enough to grab my leather jacket. I slip it on, bounce my shoulders a few times, then head back out and down the stairs. Two at a time, of course. Snagging my shoes before I take a seat on the bottom step, my mind races with what we could possibly talk about. He likes to cook. Maybe find out his favorite food? He reads fiction. Literature is always an easy topic. He's good with his hands. That seems like the most vague thing covered, so perhaps I'll start there. As I'm pulling on my Reeboks, I realize that could be taken a lot of different ways. I loosely fasten the Velcro. What if he thinks I'm just trying to figure him out sexually? Dude, you met him on Rougher. That wouldn't bother him. Just calm down. I pat my pockets. I'm glad I do. Walt is there. So are my keys. Oh yeah, I left my phone in the kitchen. As I get ready to head to the kitchen, a note with a key on the table catches my eye. In case you want to go for a walk. Oh, that's so nice. In case you want to go for a walk, is all it says. I pull my key ring from my pocket, brow furrowing as the keys to my apartment in San Francisco swing into view. I should have given them back to Jason, but there was never a good time. When I was let go from my tech job and it became apparent I was no longer going to be a financial asset, he found someone to rent my room within a week. Didn't even bother to talk with me about it. Things had been rocky between us for a while, but I counted on our history to mean something. I sigh, add the house key to the collection on my keyring, then stuff them quickly back into my pocket as I jog into the kitchen to collect my phone. The clock on the oven reads 9:45. It's only a few blocks to Cup of Joe. There's plenty of time to walk down. Oh, so the cafe's name is really Cup of Joe. And he's going to Cup of Joe to get a cup of Joe. I make sure to lock up as I leave, descend a few steps to the sidewalk and pause, towing at the last bit of frost clinging to the grass. Fall is here. It's chilly, so I stuff my hands in my pockets, then begin to walk down to Main Street. There are a few random folks out, raking leaves in their yard, collecting the morning paper, and so on. Everything feels so different from San Francisco. Houses have spaces here. Hell, houses are houses. They're not whatever the hell a residential city block is in the Bay. It also smells different. There's no faint trace of urine, thank God. You can just smell, well, earth, leaves decaying, and the setting in of colder weather. I pause at Benjamin Street, glancing both ways before crossing and making my way along Green Hill Park. By this time in the year, the park is neither green, nor is there actually any hill. Nor there is actually any hill. Another thing, blocks here are actual blocks. It's uniform. The part of me that likes to sort objects and collect them in jars appreciates that. The next block houses City Hall. Built in the 70s, it feels out of place considering across the street are two gargantuan Victorians, which houses the Women's Club and a museum. At this point, I'm a couple blocks away from Main. Things turn more commercial, yet still carry that small-town vibe. Parking is actually available for all stores, something a city like San Francisco rarely offers. I cross Main and turn, heading towards the coffee shop. Halfway down the street, I get a prickle up the back of my neck. I'm being followed. My ears flick back instinctively, and my tail curls in a tight S behind me. I listen, footsteps of a single person. They're definitely getting closer. As I get to the corner, I have to wait for the crosswalk, and a thick baritone voice chimes. Corey? I glance over my shoulder, then up. My eyes widen slightly, and I'm able to keep my jaw from dropping. "6'6". I knew he was tall, but it's always different when you meet someone in the flesh. Okay, Corey, keep it casual. Hey, Stefan. I draw my hand from my pocket and extend it. When he engulfs it in his own, my tail gives a few excited shakes. His hands are huge, and warm, and gentle. The Gulo offers a lopsided smile. It's charming as fuck, then looks up and lets loose of my hand. The crossing timer is counting down. Shall we? He rumbles while placing a giant mitt on my shoulder and guiding me across the street. His size is overwhelming. Now that we're walking in tandem, I steal a glance at him from my peripheral vision. God, he knows how to dress. His current outfit is more relaxed than what he wore in his rougher profile, but still shows it off his best parts. Same boots, though. They seem a bit more worn. I'm sure he's checked me out as well, and since his hand has lingered on my shoulder, he must be somewhat interested. After a few more steps, he drops his hands, thumbs hooking in the pockets of his jeans as we make our way the last block to the coffee shop. Approaching the building, I take a sharp breath through my nose. Accompanying the scent of coffee is a mix of his cologne, musk, and the leather from his jacket. It exudes masculinity. I don't know if it's the difference in age or if he's really just well-mannered, but he opens the door for me. The tinkling of bells follows us in from the cold. As we step into the small line, he finally speaks again. Can I buy your drink? I'm fine going Dutch. You got it, boss. He winks, then reaches over and gives my arm a squeeze. I give him a huge buck-toothed smile in return. I'm interrupted by the voice behind me. Welcome to Cup of Joe. What can I get for you today? Oh, sorry. I scan over the menu quickly. Macchiato, please. For here. The perky fossa behind the counter punches a few buttons on the register, then trills. $3, please. I fish my wallet from my jacket, flip it open, and thumb out cash for the drink. Before she can hand back my change, I nod towards the tip jar. Thank you. Oh, you're quite welcome. There's a sly grin on her face, and now she winks at me before looking at Stefan expectantly. I slide down to the end of the bar, past the espresso machine, then lean against the counter. My ears swivel towards the counter, curious what tall, dark, and handsome is going to order. Morning, Beth. Hey, Stefan. The usual? She's still all bubbles. It's refreshing to know it's not an act and just her personality. Please and thank you. The panda staffing the bar glances at me before looking towards the register. Oh, morning, Stefan. Hello, Abby. You're looking stunning as usual. The panda laughs fondly as the espresso machine hisses to life. Abby gets to prepping both beverages, so it's harder to hear the rest of what's said, especially since Beth seems to drop her voice. I'm doing my best not to flick my ears towards the conversation, but what I am sure I catch is, he's cute, before an ecstatic, thank you. That draws my gaze, and it's cute. There's a 20 popping out of the tip jar, and she's leaned across the counter to give the Wolverine a big hug. He pats her back fondly, then lets loose and wanders down to wait with me at the end of the bar. You mentioned you're back in town for a while? He adopts a similar slouch to mine against the counter. Oh yeah. Grew up here, actually. I remember when this place opened, folks didn't even know what a latte was. I mean, unless you got to travel. I trace a gold boomerang in the pattern of the formica. But yeah, I was living in San Francisco and things got kinda hairy like a month ago, so here I am. The panda slides my petite macchiato across the counter to me and I straighten. A moment later, a demitasse follows suit. What is a demitasse? Okay, so I had to look it up. It's a cup that is used to serve espresso. Okay. Of course, this giant man would order an espresso. With drinks in hand, we head towards the back of the shop. The mannequin sitting on the ledge above the sofa is the same, but the Mondrian mural is new. There's the quiet clatter of porcelain as we set our small mugs on the table in front of us. Jackets are removed and tossed haphazardly across seats. Stefan takes his spot in an oversized leather wingback chair, and I on the vintage 50s sofa adjacent. Okay, it looks like a talk show. There's a moment of quiet as we both huff at our drinks. Then in unison, we each take a sip, as if matching time. He gives a quiet laugh, then shifts in his seat so he can properly face me. I meet his hazel eyes, and there's a long moment where neither of us say anything. Finally, he picks back up. I can hear how tentative his response is given my glum answer to his prior question. I hope that whatever troubles brought you back don't bother you for long, but... He clears his throat. It's nice to be having coffee with someone again. God damn my tail. I'm happy you invited me. I grin shyly and try to keep the huge white appendage attached to my ass still. Sorry if my answer was short or seemed sad. I've just had a lot of things happen in pretty quick succession that I'm trying to figure out. And well, I'm trying to sort out what to do now. What's happened is done. He leans forward in his seat, hand settling on my knee and giving it a reaffirming squeeze before he picks up his espresso and takes another sip. The furrow in his brow is cute. Oh, that is so, Would it be rude of me to ask exactly what happened? I shift, sliding to the edge of the sofa, so that my leg can rest against his. It's all very nonchalant, but all very planned. Same old story for the Bay. Was part of a startup. Things went well till they didn't, and then I wasn't part of a startup. I fiddled with my cup before taking another drink. When I told the guy I'd been seeing what happened, I thought it wouldn't be that big a deal. This happens all the time. Was wrong about that. He found a new roommate within a week and kicked me out. I have money, but unfortunately my name wasn't on the lease. I take a deep breath, but before I can go on, he interrupts. Wait, found a new roommate? So you were seeing each other and lived together, but you had separate bedrooms? He's completely puzzled by this, and honestly, when put so simply, I am too. I reach up, rub the back of my neck, then look over at him. That's pretty much right. His hand settles on my leg again. Boss, that sucks. And in that moment, all the anger I'd held in, after all the talks with friends back home. No, this is home, at least for now. It all bubbles up to the surface. Right? I mean, what the fuck? I'd been with him for over 2 years. I should have realized it when things just devolved to fights about money, or... I tried to stop my tail from thrashing and dip my head. Sorry, maybe I shouldn't have come for coffee. I've obviously got a lot of shit on my mind. There's a reassuring pat, but he doesn't draw his hand away, so I changed the subject. So what's with boss? Oh, it's just a nickname, I guess. It felt right. You seem like a boss. He takes another drink, his last apparently. The demitasse is set on the table, empty. Maybe that's why he got an espresso, an easy out if you end with a friggin' psycho. I'm done. Time to go. I'll message you. My mood is pretty sour. Jason didn't even have a nickname for me. Jason sounds like a dick. I look up again, lock eyes, and mumble. Sorry, this probably isn't what you were expecting from a rougher hookup. Excuse me. Bathroom. I abandon my mug on the table and stand, slipping over to the men's room before he has time to respond. I don't need to go to the bathroom, but this gives me a chance to rally. It also gives him a chance to escape, if he wants. I turn on the hot water, give it a moment, then let it pool in my hands before bringing them to my face. I give an audible sigh, water dripping from between my fingers, then look at my reflection. Hot mess coming right up. Oh my gosh, you're so stressed. I grab a couple of the tri-fold paper towels, wring my hands, then do my best to wipe my face dry. When I emerge from the bathroom, he's gone. My tail droops as I make my way back to the sofa. Feeling better? I spin in place, tail hiking and giving a few excited shakes. Oh, I thought you'd left. There's a broad, toothy smile as he offers a plate to me, a gigantic cookie sitting dead center. I thought you could use a little chocolate. That's very sweet of you. Thank you. I reach out and take the plate before sinking back to the sofa. You're quite welcome. And really, are you feeling better? He takes a seat on the edge of the leather wingback, leading my way. I have a lot of things I'm figuring out, I guess. He visibly relaxes, then slides back fully into the seat. C'est la vie. He waves a hand before letting it fall to the arm of the chair. Those hazel eyes settle on me. And boss? I look up. I wasn't really expecting this to be a hookup. The Wolverine motions to the cookie. You should have some. I'm sure something sweet will help perk you up. He winks at me as I reach forward and break off a piece of the gargantuan sweet. I take a bite, chew, then cover my mouth. So, you know what I put in jars? Can I ask you what you do with your hands? His grin is lascivious. How forward? I choke on the cookie, which draws a deep laugh from him. He reaches over, giant hand settling on my back to give a few pats and rub before he finally answers. Well, as I said in my little bio, I'm something of an amateur chef. Like your jars, though, it's varied. I've spent a lot of time foraging recently, have had some decent luck with mushrooms. The frost, though, will mean an end for that. There are a couple late-bearing apple trees I know of that I should visit soon. There's a flash of pink as he wets his bottom lip. Aside from that, I spent a lot of time working on my house, so some minor carpentry, touch-ups to woodwork is like a lot of the older homes around town. At this point he pauses, regarding me for a long moment. I'm a bit of a tailor too. I've been trying to get better with the sewing machine. At this point I've eaten about a quarter of the cookie. I nudge the plate his way. Please help me eat this. My tail flicks behind me, and my grin goes lopsided. Sorry, that wasn't me being disinterested. This is just a really big cookie. It's all really admirable. I mean, I don't really have that many hobbies. He reaches forward, fingers brushing against mine as he breaks off a part of the cookie. Oh, that is sweet. It sounded like you know your way around the kitchen. That's certainly something. Every time he's touched me, it's been a whirlwind of emotion. I'm sure my ears are flushed, and I really wish I could control what's going on behind me. Oh, ew. It's making me giddy. He takes another bite of the sweet, then motions at my tail. That's cute. I can't help but groan and roll my eyes. It's not very helpful when I'm trying to play poker. He gives another rich laugh. I'm sure. He finishes up the bit of cookie he's holding, then licks his fingertips. Oh, that is so... that is so... seductive. Oh, I hope this isn't just a hookup. That last line is delivered in such a genuine fashion, and as I look over, he's wearing the same sad smile as his profile photo. I want to kiss him. Well, if you can handle someone with a bit of baggage who's trying to figure out his life, I'd be happy to just call this coffee. Or our first date. Whichever works. My coffee has gone cold by this point, I'm sure of it. Rather than nurse it along, I grab the little cup and tip it back, finishing it quickly. He slides forward to the edge of his seat. First date works for me. He reaches my way. I freeze, and then gently thumbs across my bottom lip and jaw. Oh my gosh. I cannot handle it. It's too much. Just a bit of coffee. If I wasn't blushing prior, I certainly am now. My eyes raise, and past him I can see the Fossa at the counter grinning like there's no tomorrow as she's whispering something to her panda coworker. The panda turns, a smile to match the other, and they both give a thumbs up. I toy with my collar, feeling extremely flushed, then lower my muzzle and poke at the cookie. Thank you, Stefan. I just didn't want it to stain your fur. He reclines into the wingback chair, hands folding in his lap. My brain's a bit overloaded at this point. I don't really know if I can carry on small talk much longer. As much as I'm enjoying this as a first date, the Gulo is incredibly handsome, ostensibly a nice guy, smells great, dresses well, a Renaissance man, and actually interested in me. Before I can stop myself, I just blurt the first thing that comes to mind. How old are you? A broad grin plays across his muzzle. You know, I honestly expected you to ask that before you asked about what I do with my hands. He winks. I die. Does it matter? My tail is once more bouncing around behind me. I mean, not really. If he wants to poke fun, then I'm just gonna dish it back. It doesn't feel malicious, more like he's trying to help me keep my mind off the issues that have popped up in our conversation. So what can I do but offer a coy smile and reach over to prod his leg a few times? But if you're a strapping young lad of 16, you really should tell me. I'd hate to end up in jail after all. I don't think I have the constitution for it. His whole frame shifts, he laughs, and so do I. Oh shit. No, you're a few decades off. He's giving me a toothy grin, then rumbles up his answer. I'm 49. I hadn't expected there to be almost 20 years difference in age between us, and I think it's apparent by the look on my face, because for the second time that sad smile shows up. I hope that's not an issue. I groan quietly, then use both hands to give my face a few slaps. He's raised an eyebrow, and I look back at him, muscles slightly squished between my palms. No, not at all. In fact, I should ask you if 32 is an issue. Concern dissipates and he rumbles. No, not at all. We just gaze at each other. It's nice. Then he flicks his head past me as he stands. My turn for the loop. My eyes follow as he stands and saunters to the restroom. The gray t-shirt has ridden up his back a bit, exposing the fur just above the waist of his jeans. He reaches back and casually tugs it into place, the thick tail of his thumping against his denim-clad ass. And is a very big ass. Before we end the video, I would like to give a massive thank you to our patrons. Your support means more than the world to us. It means the galaxy to us. Check out patreon.com/arkandray07 to be a patron today. Ciao!